Queer cats are tone setters, the same reason my main legion of chrome wetters. With long cheddar, mixed with lines written, no time slipping. When we rhyme spitting, divine mission. Since the house days, GA Grandma left DJ Tanner outraged. The South stays, about that Beretta clapping, lines balanced with
Head on over to Spotify and all other streaming platforms. Check out the NoMercyTV Podcast. Yo, what's good, y'all? No Mercy. Trap New York shit, NoMercyTV.com. You know what time it is, man. Rest in peace, who I personally think is one of the greatest rappers to ever do it. Like, DMX, man. DMX. And, you know, it took me a little while to make this blog because, like, he's one of the few rappers that is, like, really one of them ones for me. Like, you know, I had to, you know, really figure out how I was going to do this blog because it's like, this was one of the first rappers who I really followed like that, like from the very beginning. You understand? It started, you know, because I was born in 88, right? So, when I actually come into listening to rap heavy is like the late 90s, you know, and DMX was definitely one of those prominent figures around that time. Like, in what was it, 96? What was that? No, I think that might have been 98 actually, when he dropped both of the albums. He dropped Flesh of My Flesh and he dropped It's Dark and Hell is Hot, you feel me? And both albums went platinum in the same year. Crazy records, man. Crazy records like the Rough Riders Anthem, Slippin', Falling, Can't Get Up. Like, you know, those were really like some of my first rap records that I really like were hearing and really were remembering and got into and stuff like that. And the very first album like that I ever bought like for myself, DMX, and then there was X. That was the first album that like I had some money on me. I was was coming from my aunt crib. My aunt lived on 144th and Lenox at the time, and on the corner there used to be a dude out there with a whole bunch of, you know, bootlegs and stuff like that. And I had a stereo early, right? So I was heavy listening to the radio, but the only thing I was listening to was Hot 97. I wasn't listening to no other station. I was straight listening to Hot 97 all day, every day. Like, if I wasn't watching TV, I'm listening to the radio to see what music is popping, you know? And I just remember, man, listening to Funk Flex every night, the Top 8 at 8, when DMX dropped Party Up, Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind. Like, that was the top 8. That was number one on the top 8 at 8 for like mad months. Like the number one song. Like, they was killing that record on radio, you know? And I decided, I'm like, yo, let me go pick up this album and, you know, see what the album actually sound like, because this begins the point where now I want to listen to albums. Like, I've already, you know, up until this point, I'm only listening to like singles and stuff I'm hearing on the radio and stuff like that. I'm not familiar with getting rap albums because, of course, you know, rap albums got the parental advisory and, you know, your parents might not always want you to listen and stuff like that. But I picked it up anyway, you feel me? And of course, I had it on cassette. You understand? Yes, I'm 33 years old, so yes, I had cassettes, you feel me? And the radio that I had was a cassette player. It had the cassette deck in it, but it had a radio as well. So I got the album and I listened to it. Man, was that one of the greatest albums. Like, for me, I'm talking about for me personally. I don't care about nobody else's opinion. And then there was X, to me personally, is the greatest rap album of all time. For me personally. Don't worry about, oh, what's critically acclaimed and stuff like that. No, I don't care about none of that. I'm talking about for me, the album that raised me, the album that I learned a lot of my morals from, a lot of my street shit from, a lot of all that from. And Then There Was X is that album. You understand? I know the whole entire album from front to back, from the skit with the dogs chasing the dude through whatever, one more road to cross, one more move to, like, I know every single record. The Professional, then it's Fame, then it's what's the next record after Fame? It's a skit, and then it's Here We Go Again, right? Then it's Party Up, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Then it's Make a Move. Make a Move. If you've ever hustled or you've ever trapped, go listen to DMX Make a Move. That record is powerful for niggas moving on to that type of time. Very powerful. Y'all need to go listen to that, because that's one of them records where he talking that talk, where he talking that, yo, 30 niggas over 6 blocks making the cash long. See this good because niggas getting what they've been wanting. Then we see the same shit over New York niggas fronting. Stick up kids hunting, but I ain't got no love for them. I keep the burner in the dumpster with the glove for them. Like, DMX was talking on that record. You feel me? Then after that, What These Bitches Want. Like, he got so much fire on there. One of my favorite posse cuts of all time, DXL with the Locks going crazy, then Drag On with the fire verse, then DMX coming with the fire verse, and I think him and Kiss was shooting at each other on that record. Yeah, I think X and Kiss was shooting at each other on that DXL record. Like, if you listen to the bars, like, Kiss had a bar where he was like, y'all use beats for help. We help the beats. That was, and then when X came back in his verse, he closed it out. He was like, bitch ass niggas, talking records behind your back, them Kiss ass niggas. I'm like, wait a minute. And you know, when Jada said the beat, y'all use beats for help, we help the beats, that was like, you know, Swiss been producing for DMX, you know, since he came in and stuff like that. So that right there even seemed like it was a little bit of competition or whatever. And then towards the end of the album, he got the Prayer along with like the gospel record, you feel me? And even the bonus track, Why Do Good Girls Like Bad Guys? Like, yo, that is an album, like, I used to play that shit front to back every day. Every day when I got home, that was the first thing I wanted to do. Bring my stereo out while I'm doing my homework and just play that album from front to back while I'm doing my homework. You understand what I'm saying? And that's an album, like, I bought that album so many times. Like, for one, I definitely got a Walkman at some point, right? So I could be able to listen to this shit while I was out. And I used to have to go crazy buying batteries for my Walkman just to listen to that album. You feel me? And when CDs came around, I definitely bought that shit on CD a million times. Like, I'm one of them niggas, like, I had the CD player. I would play an album till it got scratched up, and then I'm going back to the CD store and buying another one. And I wasn't buying the bootlegs of a lot of albums. Like, albums like that I really loved, I was not buying bootlegs. I was going to the store to buy whether it's like a Target or a Best Buy or one of the little other places you got to pay $14.99 for it. I was doing that. You understand? Like, I was really supporting, and that DMX and Then There Was X album, I probably bought, maybe over the years, I probably bought like a good 4 or 5 copies. Like, I played that album that much. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, that music, listening to it, and at the same time, I'm growing up, I'm becoming a kid, becoming a teenager. A lot of the stuff that he's rapping about is relating to stuff that I'm dealing with in real life, in terms of growing up in the hood. You feel me? So, you know, that album really holds like a special place with me. You understand what I'm saying? And it's one of the reasons that, you know, to this day, like, I've always had a certain love and respect for DMX, because, like, yo, he keep it 100. He tell you what his pain is. He lives in his truth, and he gonna tell you just what it is. He don't, you know, change himself for nobody. You understand? He do his little bullshit. He, getting in cars and acting like he's a police officer and stuff like that. You feel me? But X is just one of them niggas, man. He's just one of them type of just, like, you only get one of those in life. You only get one of those in life. Like, there never was and there never will be another DMX. You feel me? Like, he was what Tupac was for a lot of people. You know how Tupac, one of them guys, he got that cult following, that cult fan base that is always going to listen to Tupac. They going to be in the YouTube and social media comments with all of the profile Tupac pictures and stuff like that. That's what DMX was for me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, really one of them greatest artists ever. You feel me? And, being able to come up with his music, let me see. I remember when he dropped Grand Champ in 2003. No, before that, what was it? Like the Great Depression that had Who We Be and a couple other joints. That album wasn't really too crazy. Grand Champ was a little bit better. That's the one that had Ayo Kato. It had the Shot Down joint with 50 and Styles P. Actually, what's crazy? That song goes so under the radar and overlooked. For a 50 and X record at that time, that was my dream collaboration. You understand? Like, you don't live that, you shouldn't say that, get not lying to get you shot. That was my shit, son. Still my shit to this day. You understand? Like, records like that is just like, you don't have any more DMX and 50 records. You feel me? I wish they'd have did more. Like, for me, that if DMX and 50 would have did an album together, oh my God, that would have been the greatest thing I could ever ask for in terms of music. A 50 and DMX collab album. You feel me? But DMX pretty much started falling off after that. He does the album after that. I forgot the name of it, but it's the 2006 joint that had Lord Give Me a Sign. He had maybe like a good 2 or 3 joints on it that was okay. I think was Get It on the Floor on there. I forgot what other records was on that album. But his career pretty much started, in terms of music, kind of started going downhill. And I guess, that's because of all the drug issues and stuff like that. And even though the music wasn't as good, right? X was still X. You understand? Like, when you see him in interviews and stuff like that, and like the way he talking, and he's still honest. He keeping it a buck. He telling you what rappers he like and don't like. Like, he done went at a couple people. I think he called Jeezy Young Cheesy. I think he came at Drake on the Breakfast Club before. So X was still. He got a classic interview, yo. If you ever get a chance to look this up, it's an interview he did with DJ Who Kid where he's going crazy. He's going crazy on Ja Rule. He's going crazy on R. Kelly. He said something about R. Kelly didn't want to do a verse. He came to the studio and dude didn't want to do he didn't want to give him the beat or something. So, he was like, the nigga started acting bougie, like sending his manager to talk to niggas and shit. They was like in the studio, but R. Kelly and them was like in a separate room in the studio. And nigga DMX was like, you can't talk to a nigga face to face. You got to talk through the crack in the door because you went there with a minor. He was going crazy on R. Kelly. I'm like, yo, X is really a different nigga, son. X is really a different individual. And, one of the biggest hearts in hip hop. One of the biggest hearts in hip hop. Like, wasn't afraid to speak what was on his mind. Like, when it came even to his label issues with Def Jam and certain things he was feeling about Jay-Z, he spoke up on it. You understand? Like, he was never afraid to tell y'all what it is. You understand? And it's just rare people that come across in hip hop like that. Like, you don't get that often. You don't get that often, and I know he was troubled. He had his drug issues. He was even on, it was one of them shows with like the family. And I think he had like an issue like with his son and his baby mother or something like that. And it's just like you could tell that drugs had got the best of him. You know, now another thing that I know a lot of people were talking about, it was an interview that he did, right, where he spoke on how he first got addicted to drugs, which is a crazy story. Crazy story. Like, he went robbing with a couple of older heads one night, and they just was passing around the blunt, and they laced the blunt. And ever since then, he had been addicted. Mind you, he said he was 14 when this happened. You know, like, and he just became addicted to it from there. And, you know, it's crazy when you think, like, damn, like 14 years old, becoming addicted to crack, and it leads to this. And you have to salute him, right, for having a crack addiction that early, but still accomplishing all of the shit that he accomplished in life throughout that time. Like, from 14 to what I think he was 51, 52. It's almost 40 years of dominating, you know, in terms of, like, you know, the music game and stuff like that, making it out, getting millions of dollars. And then X, one of them niggas, he doing all these worldwide tours, going overseas and shit like that, and he still come back to the hood. He not one of these rappers that he achieved success and then don't come back. Yo, he done pulled up to Rucker games after that. And this is one of the things that really told me a lot, right, in terms of DMX. The day that he passed away, when I was scrolling through social media, a lot of people I knew personally had pictures with him. You understand? Some people that I met through battle rap, some people that, you know, I actually know in terms of, you know, might have grew up with or whatever. DMX had a lot of pictures with people. You don't see that. You don't see that often. I don't know too many people that have a picture with Drake, a picture with Jay-Z. You can even say a picture with Cam. Like, you know, I don't know a lot of people that personally have these things. For all these people that have pictures with DMX, tells you a lot. Tells you a lot about who he is, what he comes from, and what he represents. You know, and these are pictures, he coming to the trenches, he coming to the hood to get these pictures with people, and it says a lot about him. It says a lot about him. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, we definitely lost a prominent, powerful figure within hip hop. You understand? Somebody who was passionate, somebody who was definitely about all of the stuff that you know, of course you can't practice everything you preach, but even with him being troubled, he still did his best to get the word out. Like, when you make it your business to have a prayer and a gospel song at the end of every album, that's you trying to spread a message. You understand? And that's still saying, with all of the trenches and all of the hood and street stuff that he's rapping about, he still wants to get that other word across. You understand? And, you know, I feel like it's just one of them things that's just where he's trying to tell you, like, yo, I'm going through all this shit, but at the end of the day, everything is going to be good. You feel what I'm saying? So, salute to DMX. You know, definitely lost one of the great ones. You know, I was even doing my rounds on social media because there's certain people whose reactions that I look for when things like that happen. You know, somebody like Dragon. You know, Dragon was basically like Little X. You understand? And, you know, I even seen his video where he was like real tearful, real emotional, crying, everything like that. Like, you could tell, like, X was really like his big bro. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You know, rest in peace to X. Salute to him. I just wanted to do this video, and, you know, in terms of this channel right here, like, you know, hip hop is something that, you know, raised me. You feel me? And he was one of the more prominent figures within that scope of hip hop that I came up in. You feel me? So I definitely had to do the right thing and show him the love on this channel, you know, just because he was just one of the more important figures to me in terms of growing up and everything. So, you know, let me know how y'all felt about X, man. How y'all felt about him musically, how y'all felt about him as a person, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll holler at y'all soon, man. No Mercy, Trap New York shit, NoMercyTV.com. I'm out of here. Bye.